I am not an expert. The views and opinions expressed in this video are based on my own beliefs and experiences for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as advice. Proceed at your own risk, not intended for children. Hey there, witches. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Amy. This is the Shadowed Path, where we talk about witchcraft and sorcery from my perspective. Everything on this channel is based on either research I have done or experiences I have had, what I have learned, and how I actually practice in my life. If you hear my dogs barking or tussling in the background, I'm really sorry. I have two of them, and they are just over it for today. They've had their naps, and they're restless, and they just want to do what they want to do. And I've already done this intro 4 times because today I want to talk about the difference between witchcraft and Wicca, what each of them is based on my limited knowledge, and then what the differences are. This is a little bit offbeat for what I would normally cover on this channel, but because it's something that I'm really passionate about, because I'm an eclectic witch especially, and I tend to deal with darker magics, the occult, and blood sorcery and demon communion and things like that. The interchangeable nature with which the words witch or sorcerer and Wiccan are used, especially witch and Wiccan, is something that I do sort of want to tackle and take apart a little bit, because I realize that there are enough people, honestly, in my personal life, not so much in the comments on this channel, but in my personal life, so many people have told me that they believe witches and Wiccans to be the same thing, that they think that those words are interchangeable. I kind of just want to talk a little bit about that. First, I want to talk about the word witch. I'm going to put a description up. Oxford Languages defines a witch as a noun, a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as wearing a black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick. Wikipedia defines witchcraft as the practice of what the practitioner believes to be supernatural skills and abilities, such as the casting of spells and the performance of magical rites. Witchcraft is a broad term that varies culturally and societally, and this can be difficult to define with precision. That second one is actually a lot better. So I just want to touch on that a little bit. Witch is a sort of an umbrella term, just like Wikipedia said, and I agree more with Wikipedia than with Oxford, so that's interesting. Just like Wikipedia said, witch defines somebody who uses supernatural means, or their will, their intent to cast spells or to make changes in the world, make things happen. They might do this with tools or without tools. There's definitely some blurring between the world of witchcraft and the world of spirituality, and also religious practices. A lot of what various churches do I would consider bordering on witchcraft. A lot of what the spirituality community participates in I would consider bordering on witchcraft, but they just leave out so many of the, I guess, just a lot of the intricacies and the core of what witchcraft is. And so and also they don't claim it, right? So you can't tell somebody they're doing something, you can't tell somebody what they believe, right? So I'm not gonna go up to somebody who's practicing the law of attraction and saying, hey witch, but that, it's just a step away, So witchcraft is it is the practice of a witch. A witch could either be male or female or non-binary, or anything. That it doesn't have a certain gender identity, it doesn't have a certain sexual orientation attached to it, it doesn't even have a specific religion attached to it. There are religions that inherently have witchcraft built into them, and there are also religions that seem to avoid it, and there are people who practice witchcraft separate from their religion or as part of it, and that's a personal decision and a personal melding of the two things that that practitioner has created for themselves. I personally I consider myself an eclectic witch. I'm a blood sorcerer, and I commune with demons, I work with demons, and that's kind of where I am and what I do right now. My starting point was with elemental magic, and I do still practice that to an extent, energy work and healing as well. But I wouldn't necessarily call myself specifically oh, I'm just I'm a green witch, or I'm a kitchen witch, or I'm a whatever. I'm an eclectic witch, which basically means I collect practices that fit me and that resonate with me, and I put them together into a package, and that is what I am. I grow and I change all the time, and some of the things I used to do I don't do anymore. Some of the things I used to believe I don't believe anymore, and I'm sure that there are more changes and new beliefs in my future. As hard as that may be to believe, you know, as we age, we tend to sort of get sort of sticky in our ways, but I just figure if I'm not like learning anymore, then what am I even doing? So that's me in a nutshell, which is, it's something that somebody really has to self-describe. So if someone says that they're a witch, it's a great idea to ask them, you know, what they practice if they want to tell you about it, what they believe in if they have specific deities, or if they want to tell you about it. But you don't just go around calling people witches who aren't, you know, whether it's directly tied to a specific religion or not, it is a spiritual belief. It counts as a religious belief. And so, like, being bigotous toward witches is the same thing as disrespecting, oh good golly, like any other person practicing any other like spiritual or religious practice. It's the same thing. So being like disrespectful to a witch is like the same thing as being disrespectful to somebody else's, you know, practice or religion. Wicca. According to Oxford Languages, Wicca is a form of modern paganism, especially a tradition found in England in the mid-20th century and claiming its origins in pre-Christian religions. According to Wikipedia, Wicca is a modern pagan religion. Scholars of religion categorize it as both a new religious movement and as part of the occultist stream of Western esotericism. That was a mouthful. I am not Wiccan, so I cannot tell you everything that Wiccans do or don't do. Wicca is a religion. It has a set of rules. The Wiccan Rede. R-E-D-E, I think. Just like any other religion, even though there are tenets, there's the Rede, and there are tools and books and covens and things available for education for Wiccans. Wicca is not the same for everyone. Every Wiccan has a relationship with their practice that is unique and special to them. And I have heard that some Wiccans don't even necessarily cast spells, don't really consider themselves witches, which is sort of interesting. But for the most part, from what I've like read and been told, Wiccans are witches because the expression of their religion is expressed through witchcraft. So witchcraft is the thing that all witches use to make something happen. Wicca is a religion for witches, or a religion of witches. So there are countless witches in the world who are not Wiccan. Voodoo practitioners are witches. I would consider them witches. You wouldn't like be caught dead calling a voodoo and Wiccan, right? So it's just like a mixing up of terms. A lot of this has to do with society and like just kind of a lack of information and knowledge. Part of that, I think, has to do with the fact that witchcraft is taboo. With the internet, it's become a little bit more accepted and it's become easier for us to connect with each other across the world. I think that's given us a little bit of a sense of safety. There are more laws, places that allow for religious freedom and things like that. There are like multiple levels, right, where witches don't necessarily feel safe, you know, divulging what they do to the public for obvious historical reasons, but also because it is sacred for a lot of us. How we interpret sacred for ourselves is going to be different. I might be willing to say talk about some things or show people some things that maybe other witches wouldn't. There are some things other witches would do or talk about that I wouldn't necessarily, and so it's very personal. The thing to remember about witchcraft is that there are as many ways to practice witchcraft and as many types of witches as there are people in the world. So putting people in like a little like box and wrapping it up with a bow and saying this is what a witch or this is what a witch is it doesn't really work. Like I said, Wicca is a religion. It is, and witchcraft is an expression of that religion for Wiccans. So again, most Wiccans are witches. Not all witches are Wiccans. I hope that helped. I hope that made sense and cleared some things up for y'all. If you are Wiccan or a witch or both and you would like to add to these definitions, if you'd like to tell myself and others what it means to you, I would love that if you wouldn't mind just like leaving a comment in the comment section, wherever that happens to be based on the device that you're watching this from. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video and you don't want to tell me about your witchy practice, leave a little wizard person emoji in the comments. That'd be great. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, then, you know, that's okay. If that's how you're feeling, give it a thumbs down. That's fine too. If you think that it would help somebody or it helped you, please feel free to share it. And if you want to support my channel for free, please subscribe, because that is literally the best and easiest way to support me. Just want to take a second to thank my patrons for your support. Y'all are amazing and they put up with so much from me. I'm incredibly inconsistent and I struggle a lot with, you know, regular uploads and actually like managing my time and managing all of my things and my promises, and I really appreciate y'all's patience. So thank you to my patrons and thank you to my subscribers, and thank you for hanging out and having this chat with me. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. See you next time.